Hi luminaries, in this video I'm going to show you two things. So one is how to make a Cobra Knot friendship bracelet, and then two, how to add beads as just kind of extra adornment in it. Okay, so let's get started. What you'll need are any of your loom tool, it doesn't matter which one, it could be the robot, the big A, the paper, the XL. What you'll need also is a nylon cord or cotton. In this case, I'm going to use nylon. I find this much easier for beads. And this is just a 0.8 millimeter. They also call it Chinese knotting cord as well, in any color. And I think this is just from the tip of your finger to the mid bicep. So that's probably about 18 inches. A string of yarn. In this case, I have two different colors. I'm going to use this really sparkly embroidery floss that I have. I think these two colors just contrast so well. And then a piece of just wool yarn. So again, you could use any yarn that you want, any material. Both of these are kind of add up to about worsted weight. Any beads. One thing to know though about the beads is that the hole in the beads here should at least be 1 millimeter if you're using a 0.8 millimeter cord. Just anything that will fit this cord into. Needle, you could use a plastic needle or a metal needle, snips or scissors. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to actually use the robot tool for this, and then I'll let you know how to set it up on these other tools. Okay, so when you have your base cord, what I like to do is just fold it in half and then basically put it up to the middle of the length here and then just do an eyeball. So basically I need to start my friendship bracelet about here. Okay? So let me hold on to that. Then I'm going to take the end of one of my yarn and the end of my other yarn. So this is a 6 ply, so that's why it looks like there's so many pieces of yarn, but it's not a big deal. We're just gonna, be working with it as one piece of yarn. Okay, now you hold that in place, and now I'm gonna make 2 knots. I like to make 2 knots, and that way it's really, really tight together. Look at how great these colors look together. 1, and then what I like to do is pull each yarn separately to help further tighten the knot, and then I do it again, and I make sure that the knots are flush up next to each other. Okay, and this actually, I think personally, adds a really cute detail. Okay, now what I'm going to do is you could cut these off just right at the edge here, or you leave it on as a detail. So for now, why don't I leave it on? I think that looks cute so that you can see what that looks like. Now you're going to take this end and then put it in one of the notches and then just pull very tight so that it's taut. Use the notch to keep everything in place. Do the same thing with the other end. And what you want to do here is you want to have one yarn on this side and the other yarn on the other side. Okay. Oh, I think I might have forgot to tell you how long the pieces of yarn are. I say 3 feet, or that's a yard, as just kind of, a suggestion. I think this ends up being a little bit over 2 feet, so it's not that long. This one is super long because there's not a lot left, so I left it as is. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to have this. So if you're working on the other tool, you're going to do the same action, top to bottom, and then for this you could do the middle here to the bottom, or you could do this too, and this would actually weave quite a nice necklace or choker. Looks really nice. Okay, so let's start. We're going to do a Cobra Knot. So basically you only need 1 needle for this case. So I am going to thread the pink one. Okay, so you could thread this like this. Okay, so now what we're going to do for the Cobra is that you're going to cross this over, okay, and this goes on top, and you're gonna go underneath like this. I'm also gonna link our the video that only covers the Cobra Knot, and it's just an additional reference. You don't have to use it, but it's handy if you like. And then you're gonna pull. Repeat, cross over. Oops. Sorry, this is really long. You know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut this. Cross this over. Bring the side with the needle over like this, and you're gonna go under. Okay, so you're just repeating. Very easy. And then you pull both ends so that it's tight. Again, cross this over, then cross this one over, and then you're gonna go underneath. All right, let's see how that goes real fast. Let me just do this slow. See how this is over and then it goes underneath. Once you do several, it's just repetitive and super easy. Okay, let me do it one more. I'll continue to do this, and once I add the bead, I'll slow this back up. I'm gonna put this on fast forward. Okay, so I'm back. So I'm beginning to reach the middle of the bracelet. So I think that's a good place to actually, for this example, to put in a bead. So let's do one more loop. So cross over, cross this over, go underneath, and then over. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just undo this bottom part. And then sometime with this nylon cord, there's gonna be like some fraying. So what I like to do is I just like to snip very close, a nice clean end, and then just thread this through. See how easy that goes through? Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'll do this, put this back very taut. The nice thing about any of these friendship bracelet pattern is that you can basically do any of the pattern. This one's a cobra, but this works really well with a single loop and the other pattern. And all you do is push this up, flush to the last stitch, and then you repeat. Okay, so you just continue to do the same weave, cross that over. This will actually go under and over. Okay, and just go slow, and you're going to pull. Okay, now it just kind of hugs the side of the bead, and this is actually would work really, really nicely with you know, those beads with the letters on it. So you could put love, BFF, forever, whatever you want. I love you, your name, your friend's name, etc. So I just keep going. I'm gonna put in another bead a little bit later, just at like kind of, I'm gonna probably go maybe 5 or 6 times. Okay, so I'm gonna put in another bead, undo. So this is great because it's it's not frayed, it's still very clean. Put in a bead, thread that in, make this taut, wrap around, use the notches to hold this in place, and then I'm gonna continue. Okay, so I've reached the end here, and this, look at how cute that is. I think these 3 colors are just so amazing. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're gonna unwind this, also unwind this, take the needle off, and what you're just gonna do is you're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna tie a double knot at the end. So real quickly, I want you to see what the color looks like on the other side. So you have kind of the reverse, blue being dominant on the side, and then pink, so you could wear it whichever way you want. Okay, so tie. You could cut your yarn to be a little bit shorter if you want to make tying a little bit easier, but I don't usually do that because, especially if the yarn is long, because I could actually make another bracelet from this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it as is. Again, pulling each strand separately to fully tighten. Okay, again. Making sure it's flush at the end here. Perfect. Oh, this is so cute. And you know, colors just basically makes the mood of the bracelet. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and cut. I'm gonna cut flush to this, or you could leave it so that it's looks like this if you want, totally up to you. But I wanna show you at least what it would look like if it's completely cleaned up. That's what it would look like. Look at how cute that is. Should we cut this? Let's just cut it so that it looks nice and clean. Whoops, that's so cute. Okay, so now you have something that looks like this. If you want to stay on to see how to make a slip knot for this, you can, or I'll link how to do a slip knot at the bottom of the video detail as well. Otherwise, you could just simply tie this together in a knot and give it as a gift. It's perfect as is. Okay, for those who are staying for the slip knot, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take these two ends, okay, cross them over. Might have to bend this a little bit. Okay, so you'll see here, one is on top and this one is on the bottom. So this is what you're gonna have. What I like to do actually is I like to make the slip knot as close as possible to the knot, because that just gives me more room to work with as I open and close. And this actually can also fit a very small wrist, like a child. Okay, so once you have this crossover, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the one that's crossed over at the bottom. I hope you can see, I know this is really small. I'm gonna link another link to in the description of this, and I use rope, so it's a little bit easier for you to see how this works. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're gonna loop this under like this to create one loop. Okay, and now you're gonna create another loop. So you're gonna create basically two loops. Okay, now holding this together, take the end and take this through the two loops. Oh, I hope you can see this. I'm gonna link for sure, because I think this is a little hard to see on this video. I'll link it to our other loop video. Okay, now you're gonna pull through. Okay, and now this creates this kind of slip knot that could make your bracelet small and big. What I do recommend is that you can actually cut this, but you want to make a knot at each end. So let me do this now. Or you just apply some heat to the end here, and this will melt basically. Okay, so you could cut and adjust as you need. And then I'm gonna put this on. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. Okay, and I could just use my own hand to completely close this out. I mean, how cute is that? With the beads, right? Looks so nice and special. Enjoy, everyone.